In today's video, we are filming the dessert recipe that keeps my mom thin after menopause. Hello my honeys, if you're new to the channel, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me, as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. If you're ready to fast track it, just click the link in the down bar. Let's get you started. Hello my honeys, my name is Healthy Emmie and this is Healthy Mummy, and today we are going to be making a dessert from the Healthy Desserts cookbook, which is linked in the down bar. We're going to be making the chocolate chip cookies. You might be wondering, how in the world could we be making a dessert, and how could that dessert get Healthy Mummy to be so thin and lean and gorgeous and glowing? We'll talk about that as we make the dessert today, but let's get into it first.
All right, it's a pretty short and sweet list of ingredients. Oats, baking soda, unsweetened applesauce, nut butter of your choice, some medjool dates, ground flax seeds, vanilla, maple syrup, and some dairy-free chocolate chips.
All right, so what is the first ingredient?
The first thing we need to do is measure out 1.75 cups of oats and then blend them into a flour.
Yeah, so we're gonna blend them into a flour. You'd probably, to be honest, do better off with oat flour that you buy from the store. So there's 1 cup. 1/4, 1/2.
You must have been a math teacher.
2/4.
3/4.
3/4. And we're just going to blend it into a flour as fine as you can get it. Like I said, if you have oat flour, you'd probably be better off with that. All right, now we're going to take 1/2 cup of medjool dates. So together, we're going to pit these dates. You want to make sure that you take out the pit. And you can buy dates already pitted, but I would recommend buying the ones that have the pits in them because then they're gooier. They tend to dry out when you get the pitted ones. If you happen to have date paste on hand, that's what we're turning this into. You can buy date paste from the store. Do you have some?
No.
To soften these up a little bit more, because we're going to blend them into a date paste, we're going to mix them with some hot water that we have boiling. So I'm going to put the dates into a small bowl and then we'll put the hot water over it.
So flax meal is part of one of the ingredients, and it's to be used in place of an egg as a binder, because as a plant-based snack cookie, it's not going to have any eggs in it. So you're going to take 1 level tablespoon of flax meal. And how much water are we going to put in with that to make a flax egg?
It's a ratio of 1 to 3. So 1 tablespoon of flax to 3 tablespoons of water. Because like we said, we do not use animal products.
And does that have to be boiling water? Just water from the tap, 3 tablespoons. You just mix it together, and then it does need some time, maybe 5 minutes or so, to set up. And you'll know that it's ready when it becomes a little bit thicker and a little almost gelatinous.
So we've got our dates resting in the hot water, our flax egg we will let thicken up a little bit, and now we're going to mix together our oat flour with the baking soda. How much baking soda do we need, Mom?
I've got 1/2 teaspoon, I believe. Okay. What's that?
So now we're going to put in the chocolate chips, and this is not sponsored by Hue Kitchen. It's sponsored by the Healthy Emmie Healthy Desserts cookbook, but Hue Kitchen has come out with a fantastic product, which I am so impressed with, and it's Shania Twain. Most things that I see that don't have sugar, that don't impress me much.
That don't impress me much.
This impressed me, and again, this is not sponsored. This no sugar added chocolate chips, usually sugar-free chocolate chips have erythritol or aspartame or these sugar alcohols which wreak havoc on our gut. So to all the women out there that are drinking your diet sodas or your chewing gum, your gut is in shambles because of those sugar alcohols. This product is fire. They're chocolate chips made from just organic cacao, organic date, cocoa butter, and vanilla bean. That's pretty spectacular. I've never seen a product like this, so I'm super impressed. They are a little bit pricey, I will say that, but you vote with your dollar. So I was happy to make this purchase knowing that these aren't going to be discontinued because I've voted for it.
We need just 1/2 cup.
Perfect. Yeah, so I was like, is it Who? Is it Hue? But it's short for human.
Oh, okay.
So you pronounce it Hue. These look they look
great.
So legit. They are very sizable as well. I'll show you on the camera. These are really legit. So all of our dry ingredients are mixed together. We're gonna mix together the wet ingredients. So I'm gonna take the dates out of the hot water and I'm gonna put them into the food processor. They are nice and squishy now. They're super squishy. I mean, I could squish them up with my hands. That's how squishy they are now. And I'm not gonna dump the hot water because I might need to use it to help blend all the wet ingredients together. All right. We need applesauce, Mom. How much applesauce?
1/3 cup.
I'm going to pour in the flax egg as well. All right, I'm going to try my very best to blend this, but I might need to use some of that hot water.
Good.
Nut butter.
Nut butter. 1/3 cup.
So we're blending together all the ingredients, admiring how we are such admirable homemakers. And I think we forgot something. We forgot the nut butter. So you can use any nut butter. If you do have a nut allergy, sun butter is totally fine. Can you please hold this? Thank you. And you know, I think this could have been a blessing in disguise because this could have made it hard to blend.
True enough.
I'm just gonna scrape down the sides to make sure there's no thick bits. It's all nice and smooth.
Oh, maple syrup. We're in trouble.
Healthy Mummy had one job. She just had to take care of the ingredients. That's all she had to do.
It's really hot here today.
She forgot the maple syrup. We're just the pinnacle of bakers. Oh, my phone's ringing. It's Martha Stewart. She wants to hire us.
For a new comedy series. 1 teaspoon in the vanilla.
So how much maple syrup?
1 teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay, if you're still watching at this point. Okay, I want you
right.
to read all the ingredients and I'm going to make sure that we...
Okay. The oats blended into flour.
Yep.
Baking soda.
Yep.
Applesauce. Nut butter.
Yep.
Medjool dates. Ground flax. Vanilla. Maple syrup. 1/2 cup chips.
And the most important ingredient.
Love.
All right, so now we mix the wet with the dry. Smells
really
so good. And we still do have the leftover water that the dates was in, because if we need to add more liquid, it's not going to be a perfect science here. So, because, you know, nut butter has different consistencies depending on how wet the dates were. So for that reason, you might need to add, you can play around a little bit and you might need to add some more liquid to it. You could add some plant milk as well. So now we have our dough and we are going to form it into cookies. Normally when you do cookies, you put them in a big circle and they'll melt down, but because they're not high fat, they don't have butter, they won't melt down. They don't have oil, they won't melt down. So we're gonna push them down.
Also, we put down a little Silpat just in case it sticks.
Yes, because if you just put it directly on the sheet, it will stick. And we'll go ahead and form these into cookies. And they're super sticky, so we're going to use spoons. And while we do this, we're going to chat a little bit. So Healthy Mummy, you can... So Healthy Mummy and I are going to chat a little bit about how in the world this dessert, how could this make somebody thin, especially after menopause? And so what we have to do here is really start at the beginning. And by the beginning, I mean the Slim on Starch program. So Healthy Mummy did my Slim on Starch program, and we have the whole Healthy Mummy series where you can watch everything. And Healthy Mummy, let me quiz you for a moment. What is it that causes somebody to not be successful on a diet?
With diets, when people finish the diet, they just go back to what they were doing beforehand and the weight comes right back on.
Ding, ding, ding. So Healthy Mummy had done, you know, with our plant-based journey, she's been plant-based for almost as long as I have, and would do really well for short periods of time, but then you call it the creep. Things would start to creep back in. So we buckled down 3 years ago, actually, it was 2020 when we did it. We buckled down, 2020, we buckled down and we said, you are committing completely to SOS, which she did tremendously well. And then we had to say, okay, so now we need to decide, because you've done so well, your cholesterol down, you released weight. Then we had to decide, what's the rest of your life going to look like? And so where people stumble is they, quote unquote, finish the diet, then they just go back to what they were doing beforehand, or those things start to creep in. So what we had to do here was look long term and consider, you're not going to go the rest of your life without eating cookies. You're not going to go the rest of your life without having a glass of wine every so often. So something that Healthy Dad taught me is when you can't move forward, move sideways. So while you can't move forward with having the things that you used to have, you can still have cookies, but they look a little bit different. They're from the Healthy Desserts cookbook now. So you've graduated to where you've earned your ability to have these. Mm-hmm. So if you are looking at this recipe and you say that is so delicious, of course, make them and get the Healthy Desserts cookbook. Also keep in mind that this fits in to being able to successfully keep the weight off after you've done Slim on Starch, because this is promoting the sustainability of the program and your ability to adhere to it in the long term, as opposed to, I'm going to do Slim on Starch perfectly for the rest of my life. That's actually not the mentality that I have. The Slim on Starch program is built as a foundation, and then you enter the master's program and you build upon that foundation and you form what we call your signature system, which is your ability to intentionally include treats like these and not go totally off the rails. So Healthy Mommy, tell us what you are doing tomorrow and how this fits into your signature system.
Tomorrow I'm heading down to the Cape with some friends, and we're going to bring our own lunches, but we're also going to bring something to share.
And so this fits into Healthy Mommy's signature system perfectly. And I know people are probably wondering what you are going to bring for your lunch tomorrow.
I think what I'm going to do is, I really enjoyed the vegetables roasted with balsamic. I think
from the last video that we did. Yeah, so yeah. I can link that. That's perfect.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do that over some rice. Maybe make some rice with lemon zest, just a little different, and it'll travel well. And I think that's what I'm going to bring.
Yeah, so if you are wondering what that is, we actually just filmed that video. It's called What Healthy Women Eat for Lunch, and I go over exactly how we make that. And what's great about lemon is for my friends out there who need to keep their blood pressure low, lemon, Mom, do you want to?
I
think we can, yeah. Lemon is sour. The sour taste buds are located right next to the salt taste buds. So if you're trying to keep your salt low, if you use lemon instead, it can actually trick your taste buds, and you can be satisfied by having lemon instead of having salt. So when you go down and you bring these treats with you, there's going to be other treats there too. Mm-hmm. Tell me how you're going to navigate that.
Well, I know that it's coming. It isn't as difficult for me as it used to be, but I will be better at avoiding it if I have a substantial breakfast and lunch. So I'll be sure not to arrive hungry.
Yeah, so people will make the mistake of, they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to be eating a lot later on, so I shouldn't eat too much right now. That is a recipe for disaster, because then you get super hungry, and the more hungry you are, the more vulnerable you are to making decisions that are not aligned with the person that you want to be. And you'll revert back to reinforcing neural pathways in your brain that you're trying to let die out and get rid of. Now, these cookies, the way you put them in the oven is the way they'll come out of the oven. So, Mom, what we want to make sure we do is sort of flatten these out so that I don't want the roof of their mouth bleeding because of us. We could also use a fork.
Yeah, true.
We're using a fork just to flatten these guys out. And then I'm going to add some chocolate chips to the top to make them look nice and appetizing. We've got all of our cookies. We are going to put these into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 9 to 10 minutes. Healthy Mommy taste test.
Really good.
She goes, do you want me to try one? If you need me to, I will. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next video.